What's up everybody, it's RivTech, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the newly released World War I game Isonzo. This game is a sequel to the games Verdun and Tannenberg if you've played those. The game plays like a tactical military simulation shooter of the era. I just wanted to show off some of the gameplay and go over a little bit of the good, the bad, and the neutral of the game. World War I isn't really a genre of games that I normally play in, but I saw it was getting a lot of attention, so I figured I would give it a shot. Before we get started, please, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It's completely free, no cost to you, and it helps to boost my videos in the YouTube algorithm and get me on the recommended pages so I can share my videos with others. And if you stick around all the way to the end of the video, please feel free to hit that like button. Alright, now let's get into the good of the game. First and foremost, holy is this game immersive. The sound quality of this game is incredible. You really feel the scale of the battle, and you feel like you're in the battle when there's planes flying overhead, dropping mustard gas down on you. And speaking of mustard gas, when you go into the mustard gas, you have to put on your gas mask in order to go and traverse through the landscape. You can also set up barricades such as sandbags and barbed wire. You can also take down enemy sandbags and cut through barbed wire. I really enjoy when you wear the gas mask, you have that lack of depth of vision, kind of like if you were really wearing a gas mask. As far as gunplay goes, it feels very era specific. Don't expect to chase people down for a very long time with a slow TTK. The rifles in the game normally do one-shot kills depending on the range that you're at. If you miss a shot, you're more than likely gonna pay too. There's no overly tactical reload or running and slide canceling. You get absolutely punished if you miss, as you see right here. One of the features that I liked about the game is the character class system. So you'll have like officers who carry pistols, you'll have riflemen, you'll have assaulters, you'll have engineers, and you'll have marksmen. Most of the classes are limited to the amount of players who can occupy them. For instance, there's only 2 officers. I found that feature to be cool because in combat there are going to be less officers than there are going to be enlisted. At the time of filming this, there are a lot of servers available and they load really fast. If you don't get into a full server, the game will put bots in until those spaces fill up by actual players. And the bots are pretty good from what I've seen. There's been plenty of times where I'd miss a shot and I'd get punished by a bot for it. The bots on your team will also heal you if you're injured. The game does have character customization, but don't expect anything too crazy. It's just changing hat sizes and shapes, adding certain monocles or spectacles, and changing your beard mustache type. There's also a rank progression system that allows you to unlock certain items as you progress, and there is class-specific items that you unlock the more you use a specific class. The maps are vast and add to the immersions. The mountain environment is a great change of pace. It actually feels like you're scaling a mountain as you climb up on the attack. As you go into some of the smaller town-based maps, the action really ramps up. I feel like the levels are very well balanced. The trench warfare really adds to the immersion of the game. You feel protected in that trench, and when you peek your head up or when you enter into that no man's land, you're really at risk of being engaged and getting attacked. The close quarters of the trench also lead to some pretty epic close quarter battle fights and bayonet engagements. So now let's move on to what I would personally consider the bad. Sometimes you get stuck into these weird spawn camping loops where it would suggest a player in your squad to spawn on, and unlike Battlefield where you can't spawn on somebody when they're in combat, this game will just spawn you and you'll just infinitely die unless your teammates tell you not to spawn. I don't know if this was just in some of the games that I played, but it happened quite frequently. It's getting kind of annoying when you're on the attacking side. Next, if this isn't the genre of game that you're used to playing, the playstyle is going to feel really slow. It's a tactical simulation World War I shooter. It's going to feel like that. Don't expect any crazy Apex Legends, Call of Duty, Battlefield movement. Obviously, because it is a World War I game, the weapons are limited to the time period. Again, if you're an avid fan of the period, that's not really going to be an issue to you. My last negative, and this is really kind of a nitpicky thing, is the FOV in the game. The game feels like you have to play at a lower FOV. When you're in the mountainous maps, it gets really hard as you get past like 90 FOV to even see anyone. And I'm pretty sure that this is just to add to the immersion of the game, but as somebody who plays at a higher FOV, it was something that I was struggling to get used to having to lower it. Now we're going to move on to what I consider the neutral portion. This is going to be specific to your game style. If you've played Battlefield 1, this is a lot slower paced than Battlefield 1. Don't expect a lot of running and slide canceling, as I said earlier. You can still dive down immediately if you come under fire or dive into a foxhole, stuff like that. Just don't expect to hit any crazy jumping shots. Also, there's no single player campaign, so if you guys were hoping for a single player experience where you go through some levels and learn some history, that's not here. And another thing that I've seen people complain about, but it's not really an issue to me, is that this game is separate from the other multiplayer games of the series. Fans were hoping that these games would be bundled together, but this is my first iteration of this game, and not playing the other ones hasn't really bothered me. If you're a fan of the series, I can understand why you're upset that these games aren't together. Now, onto the question of whether or not you should buy the game. If you're a fan of these era-specific games, this may be the breath of fresh air that you're looking for, something new to play. It has a really high player base at the moment. It's graphically good. There's plenty of maps. There's plenty of servers. There's international servers as well. There's lots of stuff to do. And if you have a team, it makes the experience even better. Now, if you're somebody who enjoys a modern shooter like a Escape from Tarkov, Battlefield, Call of Duty, something like that, this game might not be for you. It may be a hobby game, but it's not free. So if you are going to make it something that you just play on the side, know that it's going to cost you between 25 or 30 bucks. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any further questions, leave them down in the comments. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a like on the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.